Hi guys, so I've said on numerous occasions that there's a massive difference between a Brexiteer and a Brexit voter. One made a decision based on lies, hoping the lies were truth. The other spread the lies, knowing that they were spreading nothing but falsehoods. Many people voted for Brexit for many different reasons. Some believed that leaving the EU would free up the NHS, but now we see it with less money and fewer staff. Some believed Britain was sending money to Europe and getting nothing in return. Well, now we see Cornwall, which was getting 100 million from the EU, and it now has to beg the Tory government for 3 million. We heard about Project Fear, and now we're seeing empty supermarket shelves. Well, on Question Time, one man was honest enough to admit that he had voted for Brexit, and he gave another reason that was based, of course, on lies.
The driver shortage has been going on for years. My dad's a lorry driver. We've been short of them for about 20, 30 years. The ageing population of our truck drivers is well known. We've got no young people coming into a truck driving industry because it's not a very comfortable life. You know, they're on the side of the road. You know, they can get mugged. Their lorry can get robbed. You know, it's not an appealing lifestyle. I think it does have quite a bit to do with Brexit. I think Brexit is... I voted for Brexit. 5 minutes after I voted for it, I realised that I'd done a very, very silly thing. But I was upset that David Cameron got slapped around by the EU, and I voted for Brexit.
Okay, I admire his honesty. He said that, you know, he voted for Brexit. He held up his hands. He said it was a silly thing 5 minutes later. And his reason he gave was that he believed that David Cameron, the former Prime Minister, was being slapped around by the European Union. Now, this is another lie from the Brexiteers, of course, that Britain was a spent force in Europe, that it had no friends, that it had no allies, it had no real power. Britain had a veto. If it wanted to stop legislation, rules, regulations, it could have wielded that veto. It didn't on many occasions. So it went along with those rules and those regulations. Now, as I've said on numerous occasions, many governments, not just the British one, but many governments will be happy to use the EU as an excuse. Or we can't do this because of the EU. Or we're doing this because of the EU. We have to do this because of the EU. It's an easy scapegoat. And to say that David Cameron was being slapped around by the EU, and that's the reason we needed to leave, was another one of these Brexit lies, Brexiteer lies. Now, to go back to the point that he raised about the heavy goods vehicle driver shortage, and I've covered this before as well, it's not an easy job. And the government's response to the shortage, you know, that's a consequence of Brexit, is, well, we're just going to hire young people. We're going to hire British people to do this job. And as he has pointed out, it's not an easy job. It's dangerous. You have to sit on the side of the road for you know, sleep on the side of the road in your lorry. People can, you know, depending on where you are, it can be dangerous. People can mug you, rob you, damage your lorry. That's just the ins and outs of it. Then, of course, there are all the problems that have, as a consequence of Brexit, having to sit at the port, waiting for documentation, having a consignment blocked because of one article didn't have the correct piece of paperwork, the stress of it, having to be there on time. Yes, there's more money, but for many people, money will not make the difference. It means spending a long time away from friends and family, a complete change of lifestyle, and of course there's the point that even if, as the government seem to be doing, making the tests easier, the pass rate is quite low, 57%, more than half, but it demonstrates how difficult the tests are. So you're going to have more or less half the number of people that you would expect to get into this industry, and then how many of them are going to stay in it. It's not an easy job. It's difficult, it's stressful, it's dirty at times, working with the trailers and offloading stuff, unloading stuff. It's not a job that everyone wants to do. So I want to show my admiration for this man for being honest enough to come out and say, yes, I voted for Brexit. It was a mistake. I think, you know, more people should come out and admit it. My only caveat would be, I hope after this he's not going to lend his vote to the Conservative Party, the people who lied to him in the first place. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?